All right, welcome back. Today, we are diving into something really fascinating. It's called Arreqqanarra cognitive mechanics. And trust me, it offers a completely different way to look at how we process our impulses, our desires. It basically suggests that our understanding of who we are, it doesn't start with our thoughts. It starts with our bodies.
So here's the game plan. We're going to start with a feeling I think we've all had. Then we'll introduce the core ideas here, thread cognition and the 4 mental gates. After that, we'll get into a really cool practical tool, the flame resonance quiz, and then of course we'll break down what your results could actually mean.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had that gut reaction to someone? Before you've even had a single conscious thought about them? It's that jolt, right? Or that sudden tension, or maybe even that weird, inexplicable calm you feel around someone totally new? We've all been there, and that's exactly where we're starting today.
Yeah, that physical first reaction, that gut feeling, that is the absolute core of this entire system. The whole idea is that long before our brains have a chance to slap a label on something or judge it, our bodies have already gotten the message. The signal's already been registered. Okay, so if our bodies are getting these signals first, how do we make sense of them? Well, that's where thread cognition comes in. It's the framework the Arreqqanarra model gives us, and it's not about slapping on personality labels or judging things as good or bad. Think of it more like a unique kind of science for understanding these body-first impulses. So, what's the source of these impulses? The system calls it the thread, and I want you to really think about that word. It's like this deep underlying current of who you are, this continuity that's always there, way below your conscious thoughts, way below your ego. And here's the kicker. It's the part of you that you don't consciously author. It's not written by you.
And what I love about this is how it defines the thread by what it is, and maybe more importantly, by what it isn't. So it's involuntary, you feel it physically, it shows up in patterns, but, and this is so important, it's not moral. It isn't good or bad. It's not your ego. It's not your reputation. It just is. It's a raw signal.
And this is where it gets really different from how many of us in the West are taught to think. We're often told you choose what you want. But in this system, nope. The desire, what they call the flame, is totally unchosen. What you do choose is how you act on it. Identity isn't just some fixed label like I am X. It's layered, it's reactive. And morality? It's way less about judgment and a whole lot more about understanding your impact and then making repairs if you need to.
Okay, these 3 axioms are basically the bedrock, the fundamental rules of this whole system. Number 1, you cannot manufacture desire. You just can't. You can't force that flame. You can only decide what to do with it once it shows up. Number 2, silence is a measuring instrument. It's not just an awkward pause or an empty void. It's a tool you use to gauge how real and persistent that flame is. And number 3, speech doesn't create the flame. Your words are the final test, the vessel that proves whether that flame is worthy of being acted on.
All right, so let's get into the mechanics of this, how it all actually works. If the thread is sending up these involuntary signals, how does the mind even deal with them? Well, this model lays out a really specific 4-step filtering process. They call it the 4 mental gates.
And this sequence is just fascinating. So step 1, your body just reacts. A faster heartbeat, a change in breath, and the mind's only job is to notice it. That's signal registration. Then, step 2, meaning interrogation. The mind starts asking questions. Okay, what does this mean? What are the consequences? Is this a risk? Next, and this is a big one, it has to pass the honor alignment test. This is where the impulse gets checked against your deep-seated values, your duties, your social honor. And only if it passes all of those gates does it get the green light for action approval, to become a deliberate action or something you say out loud. So this all sounds great in theory, right? But how can you actually apply it to yourself? Well, there's a practical tool that was designed for exactly that, to measure how you, as an individual, tend to process these signals through those 4 gates. And it's called the Flame Resonance Quiz.
The official name for the quiz is Coulomb Roulet Malin, and what that translates to is just beautiful. It's at what degree does your body ignite the mind? I mean, that question gets right to the absolute heart of this whole thing, right? It's not asking what you think. It's asking how your body kicks off your thought process. So let's look at a few questions just so you can get a feel for it. Here's a great one. When attraction hits, your breath changes first before thoughts form. Think about that. Does your body react, a change in your breathing, before your brain has even had a chance to say, oh, I'm attracted to that person?
Okay, here's another one.
You register disrespect through gut recoil, not emotional outrage. So, when you feel disrespected, what's the very first signal? Is it a physical thing, like your stomach just tightens up, or is it a purely mental, emotional thing like immediate anger and indignation? See? The focus is always on that first physical signal.
And this last one really brings it all home. You trust body pulse truth over social rumor truth. So when that internal signal from your body, your pulse truth, is telling you one thing, but social rumor, what everyone else is saying, is telling you something completely different, which one do you trust?
The scoring for this is actually pretty simple. The quicker and more clearly your body recognizes a signal, the more points you get. So an A response means your body is screaming its truth first and foremost, whereas an E response means your logical mind is in the driver's seat from the very beginning, demanding proof.
All right, now for the really fun part. Let's decode the results. We're going to look at what the different score ranges actually mean in this system and explore the 5 degrees of flame resonance.
So here's the big picture. Your total score would place you in one of 5 different mind types. It's a spectrum, right? Ranging from a degree 1 material in Ryu mind all the way up to a degree 5 worthy flame bearer teacher mind. And each one just represents a different style of processing those signals from the thread.
So if you're a degree 1, a material in Ryu mind, your mind is naturally pretty skeptical. It's not going to trust that first gut feeling. Instead, it's the kind of mind that says, show me. I need logical evidence. I need this experience to be recreated before I'll really believe this feeling of connection is real. Now at degree 2, the sensory before social mind, you're definitely feeling that body signal. It's recognized, but it's held very close to the chest, kept silent and internal while the mind analyzes it. You might feel a really strong protective instinct way before you would ever actually say anything about it.
Degree 3, the silent validator Lun mind, is all about balance. The body's signal comes in loud and clear, but it's immediately put into a kind of quarantine. The mind gets to work, actively testing that feeling against your sense of honor, your sense of safety, and only lets it proceed if it passes. They say that bonds that are formed from this place are incredibly strong and lasting.
Now, we're getting into some real speed. At degree 4, the shadow fire negotiator mind, that recognition is fast and it is powerful. The body and heart just spike with the truth of the flame almost instantly. But the mind is right there alongside it, cautiously watching, treating that attraction not as some fleeting whim, but as a real event with real consequences. And finally, degree 5, the worthy flame-bearer teacher mind. This is where you have complete integration. The body's signal, the mind's grasp of consequence, and the heart's alignment with honor, it all happens simultaneously as one single event. And when speech finally arrives, it's not because of hesitation. It comes last because it carries the absolute weight of a vow.
So we end up right back where we started, with one of those core axioms. This whole system is really an invitation, isn't it? An invitation to see our own inner world in a totally new light, to treat our gut feelings as valuable data, to see our silence not as an empty space, but as a powerful tool for measurement. And it leaves us with one heck of a question to chew on. What is your body telling you long before your mind even begins to speak?